This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
Wrestling fans from around the corner and around the world, welcome to another installment of Wrestling Insiders. I'm Dan Marotti here at MWF Studios, just north of Boston, in downtown Melrose, Massachusetts, 02176, the zip code of champions. Stay tuned after the news for some awesome money-saving deals where you can support indie wrestling. Let's check out WWE Monday Night Raw, live from Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, September the 12th, 2016. Taped for WWE superstars Braun Strowman defeated Sin Cara in a rematch from last week's Raw. Neville and Darren Young teamed up to defeat Titus O'Neil and Curtis Axel. Mick Foley opened up Raw live on the USA Network discussing Clash of Champions, and he put over Becky Lynch's championship win the night before on the SmackDown-branded Backlash pay-per-view. Foley still believes Raw has the best brand of women's wrestling, and he called out the WWE Women's Champion Charlotte along with her sidekick Dana Brooke, who continue to argue. Charlotte has lost so much steam, in my opinion, since she broke up with her father, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. It isn't even funny. They were such a great act together, and now it's just more of the same, in my opinion. It was something fresh, something different when she was able to come out with Ric Flair. Sasha Banks came out. She said she was going to win the women's title. Bayley came out. She said she deserved a title shot because she pinned Charlotte last week on Raw in a non-title matchup. I can only imagine the number of remote controls switching over to Monday Night Football during this. I wasn't impressed, to say the least. Foley ordered a match between Sasha, Bayley, and Dana Brooke, where the winner would face Charlotte at the Clash. Sasha won the triple threat match, so she gets the championship opportunity September the 25th. Bo Dallas won a squash match over Brandon Scott. I'm pleased with the renewed interest in Dallas. I think he has a ton of potential, great personality, solid in the ring. He's been more aggressive the past 2 weeks, but the problem remains fans have viewed him as a joke the past couple of years. What will it take for Dallas to be a real threat, a real danger in the ring, at least from the fans' perception? The problem with sports entertainment, quote-unquote creative, is that it waters down and kills what could be strong, top-of-the-card talent. Sami Zayn was the guest on Chris Jericho's highlight reel. Zayn said Jericho is a 6-time world champion now. He's Kevin Owens' bitch. Jericho said he got a text from Owens before the show, and he wanted to show it to him. Jericho proceeded to smash his cell phone off of Zayn's face. I thought this was a great segment. Jericho is such a great heel, especially during this particular run for him, and this builds the matchup between the two that Mick Foley announced later on as Zayn and Jericho go at it at Clash of the Champions. Cesaro defeated Sheamus to see Sheamus' lead in the best-of-7 series cut to a 3-2 advantage, with Cesaro winning the last 2 matches. Does anyone care about this series? I mean, it feels like time stands still, even though there's action in the ring, every time they hook up. I hate to say it, but I'm completely bored with this presentation. There's little of interest to this feud at all. It showcases just how paper-thin the Raw roster is right now, because no one wants to see these two compete 7 times with each other. Just boring. Again, it's one man's opinion, but I don't see much steam behind it from a fan point of view either. Alicia Fox and Nia Jax battled to a no contest. Jax speared Fox through the barricade into the timekeeper's area, and that was it for that one, as WWE continues to do a great job in building up a monster in Jax. But my question here is, who is she going to face in a believable women's match, a believable feud? Sasha? Bayley? They look like tiny children compared to her. Again, I go back to my opinion that WWE should have one women's division on either Raw or SmackDown, and then you could complement that by having the Cruiserweight division exclusive to one show. The women's rosters are exceptionally thin. I believe there's 6 women on each side. WWE Tag Team Champions New Day were out next, ragging on how bad the Club Old Day skit was last week on Raw, and it was brutal. Dragged down what was already a tough edition of Raw as it was. The Club came out, they defeated New Day in a non-title match as the two teams will collide at Clash of Champions, this time with the titles up for grabs. Michael Cole was all over the New Day has been WWE Tag Team Champions for 300 blah blah days, comparing them to Demolition's great reign, but you never saw champions lose non-title matches on a regular basis on free television back then. That's a giant problem with the WWE presentation of today. It devalues championships and devalues champions having them lose on television via pinfall on a regular basis while holding a championship. I've always felt the best solution to that is to have titles decided on pay-per-view exclusively. We'll see if that happens someday. Jinder Mahal defeated Jack Swagger in a nothing match. The substance came in the back afterwards when Tom Phillips asked Swagger about his Raw contract expiring. I thought that was really interesting, with a lot of avenues that can be traveled there. Will this story lead to a more aggressive Jack Swagger, where he realizes he is a free agent, so to speak, and he needs to earn that next contract like you see in sports? Could it be a heel turn? Could Swagger be the first man to sign with SmackDown as a free agent with the renewed push on Team Blue? I think the possibilities here are endless, and I look forward to see what direction WWE goes with it. Swagger's been on the bench for too long, in my opinion. Epico of the Shining Stars with the win over Enzo Amore. I really like this. Big fan of the Shining Stars beyond their Puerto Rican tourism nonsense. They're an outstanding team. They've been built up as highly unlikable heels. They cheat to win, which is what heels should do, not always be the cool heel. And they've come away with singles and tag team wins over the red-hot Enzo and Cass the past couple of weeks. New Day is going to need new heel challengers if they retain over the club on the pay-per-view. We'll likely see these two teams go at it as Clash of Champions as well. In the main event, the WWE Universal Champion Kevin Owens defeated Roman Reigns in an awesome non-title matchup. At one point, Roman was going to go for a superplex on Owens, but Owens reversed it into a crazy cradle-type suplex of his own. Mick Foley had warned Seth Rollins all show long to stay out of the match, but Rollins ran in to try and cause a disqualification. Foley and some agents came out to get rid of Rollins, and Foley declared, as general manager, the match would continue. There would be no disqualification ending. Foley was excellent verbally on Raw this week. He was the MVP of the show, in my opinion. Stephanie McMahon doesn't need to be on every week. Foley was superb as the authority figure interacting with so many different superstars. WWE United States Champion Rusev returned as Reigns was going for the spear on the champion. Reigns gave Rusev a Superman punch on the apron, but allowed Owens to recover and hit the pop-up powerbomb for a dramatic win to, again, what I'll call an outstanding pay-per-view quality main event on Raw. Owens will get the credit, but it takes two to tango, and this was another example of Roman Reigns being able to go out when it's time to deliver the goods. To those that dislike Roman Reigns, I ask, when was his last bad match? All in all, I'm frightened to see what this week's rating is going to be, where WWE went up against not one but two Monday Night Football games on ESPN. It's no secret that Raw has had some of the lowest rated editions since the beginning of the Monday Night Wars of late. There's work to be done to create a spark with the fans again to make Raw must-see TV. This was another 3-hour Raw that delivered some punch in the key segments, but was indifferent during other times, exposing just how thin the roster is and how hard it is to produce a weekly 3-hour professional wrestling television program. We go to the fans in our weekly Twitter polls. It was 52% thumbs in the middle, 30% thumbs up, 18% thumbs down. I agree with the fans on this one. You can't give a show with a high-quality main event like this a thumbs down, but it sure wasn't a thumbs up either. Would love to know what you thought of Raw this week. Leave your feedback in the comment section below. It's a hot summer on WWE Network with WWE NXT and the Cruiserweight Classic lighting up Wednesdays, along with SummerSlam and not one but two pay-per-views, with Backlash and Clash of Champions in September. Not currently subscribed to WWE Network? Come on now. Use our link below and get 1 month absolutely free. Get the pay-per-views live, the awesome weekly shows, and over 6,000 hours of on-demand content for free. See Lesnar and Orton at SummerSlam, Holy Foley, brand-exclusive pay-per-views, and so much more at its regular price of only $9.99 per month. It's the best value in sports and entertainment. You want to talk about a great summer sale? Head on over to the MWF store on the BostonWrestling.com super site. We've got brand new WWE t-shirts, autographs, action figures, posters, and more. And this summer I have a special where if you spend $25 or more, you get a WWE t-shirt absolutely free. Not only is it a great deal, but every dollar spent helps our endeavors to bring you action-packed live events and video content. Enjoy 1,200 free videos on our YouTube channel. As we count down to our 15th anniversary, we're releasing a new video each day at 12 o'clock flashing back the highlights and even a few lowlights on the adventure that is the Millennium Wrestling Federation. Subscribe to our channel using the link below or use youtube.com/BostonWrestlingCom. We also have regular news videos, TV episode recaps, results, interviews, and so much more. Help us bring you even more great video content by donating an amount of any size to paypal.me/Boston Wrestling. Again, every dollar donated helps us bring you more great live events and video content. That wasn't enough. We have a new video on demand section on YouTube where you can either rent or own some of our classic state-of-the-art studio shoot interviews. In honor of the 10-year anniversary since the original No Holds Barred Iron Sheik studio shoot interview went viral and on the Howard Stern Show, we've remastered it and made it available for fans around the world to enjoy for as little as $5.99. We also have an awesome WrestleMania 1 roundtable studio shoot with the Sheik, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and Cowboy Bob Orton, where all three WWE Hall of Famers look back at the WWF boom of the 1980s. John Cena Sr. joins me as co-host for in-depth studio shoots with both Paul Bearer and the first and only shoot ever done with the Boogeyman. Bull Dempsey joins us and pulls back the curtain on WWE NXT. Again, not only can you rent or own these awesome interviews, but every dollar goes right back into our efforts to bring you live event and video content. Another easy way to help our efforts is to use the links below or on the front page of the BostonWrestling.com super site to do your shopping on WWEshop.com, Amazon.com, or Walmart.com. If you make a purchase on any of those websites, wrestling-related stuff or not, we get a tiny kickback, and best of all, your cost doesn't increase 1 cent. Hey, Christmas is going to be here before you know it. Please keep us in mind, as again, every purchase made helps support indie wrestling. Last but not least, have a free ride on me with our friends at Uber. That's right, if you've never used Uber before, get a free ride up to $20 on the house to try out their great service. Forget about overpriced taxi cabs. Uber service is great. The cars are clean. The drivers are some interesting folks. Use the link below and see for yourself. I tried Uber for the first time last October in New York City for the WWE Madison Square Garden event, and I've used it regularly ever since. You won't regret it. Running out of time here, folks, as we approach our 15th anniversary. Don't miss a day on the BostonWrestling.com super site, as you never know what's going on in our world. Like us on Facebook.com/MWF Action. Follow us on Twitter at MWF2001. And again, subscribe for free to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/BostonWrestlingCom. Until we speak again, folks, you and yours, be well.